This story comes from John 18 and Matthew 26. Now the servants and officers had made a charcoal fire because it was cold, and they were standing and warming themselves, and Peter also was with them, standing and warming himself. The hour's late, the night is cold, and the sun has been gone for hours. The Passover meal feels like a distant memory, and Peter's stomach is tense with stress and hunger. Anyone who could go home has gone. Peter can't walk away. In the flickering glow of the fire, a servant girl studies Peter. "Aren't you one of that man's disciples?" she asks. "I'm not," he mutters. Upset, he moves to another part of the courtyard. But a second servant says the same thing. He was with Jesus of Nazareth. And Peter denies it with an oath. "I don't know the man." Finally, some bystanders, each nudging each other forward, confront him a third time. "Your accent gives you away," they insist. "Certainly you are one of them." One of them is not who Peter wants to be right now. Inside the high priest's home, Jesus is being questioned and beaten up. And Peter knows this. He knows the risk of being associated with Jesus. And he knows the situation isn't good or safe. Why didn't Jesus let them fight those soldiers back in the garden? Peter was ready. Instead, Jesus is left to face the unlawful judgment of the political leaders. It has not been a good night. And now these servants won't leave Peter alone. And so he insists for a third time, "I do not know the man." In the silence following his outburst, a rooster crows. And in the light that comes from the sunrise, Peter can suddenly see he didn't stick up for his dearest friend, the one he swore he would follow anywhere. He leaves the courtyard and he weeps. He is so very upset. Maybe Peter cries because he realizes he's spoken the truth. He doesn't know Jesus as well as he could, or should, or still can. Jesus knows him, and Jesus knew that he wasn't going to stick up for him. Jesus knows us through and through. When does being one of them feel uncomfortable for you? Maybe it's at school, or on your sports team, or with a certain group of friends, or sometimes even family. Maybe it's when you see something in the news or history that's connected to being a Christian, and you'd rather have nothing to do with it. Take a moment and imagine yourself around that fire on a dark night with a chill in the air, and everything in the world is feeling wrong. Peter did know Jesus, but he needed to know him more and better and more deeply. And Jesus gave him the chance, just like he gives us a chance. Jesus didn't deny knowing Peter the next time they met. Jesus didn't cancel him as a friend. Instead, Jesus invited Peter once again to follow him. And it didn't matter that he messed up and ended up in the courtyard in the first place. We follow Jesus imperfectly. We mess up like Peter. But we follow the one who knows us best, the one who became one of us, Jesus.